Hey guys, welcome to my new movie review show. We're going to be covering theatrical, Netflix Instant Watch, Redbox, obscure movies, and a secret surprise for you as well. Robocop, the PG-13 remake.
Robocop.
We're gonna need a bigger prison.
Rated PG-13. Now playing.
Hard for me to be excited about Robocop, the remake, because I have already been hurt by this franchise.
I am now authorized to be loyal as a puppy.
As bad as the trailers were for Robocop 3, I still held on to hope that Robocop 3 was somehow going to be awesome. It really hurt to sit through a lot of those moments.
Police officer, no loitering.
PG-13 has an interesting history. So what started as a way to inform audiences about the type of content to expect, it kind of evolved over time into an approach to script and marketing and every other aspect of filmmaking. They would start to pre-package that as part of the deal, so films were essentially rated first and then made, whereas they used to be made, then rated. Yes, Robocop 2 was flawed in so many ways, but especially now you look at it, and it's the most authentic Robocop sequel because you have all the cast returns, including Peter Weller, which I think Peter Weller is Robocop. Peter Weller is kind of like Christopher Reeve is to Superman. Like, you can't really get anybody better. Irvin Kershner directed Part 2. He was really trying to emulate Paul Verhoeven's style. In some ways, I think he took it too far, and it sort of became too campy in some places. But when you look back, I mean, it's pretty cool, and it's got a great third act. And the one thing about Robocop 2 is that I felt like it established, kind of similar to the Godzilla franchise, this idea that Robocop is going to go up against other giant, scary robo-villains, like Robocane and Ed 209 from the first film.
Shooting, son. What's your name? Murphy.
I mean, I love seeing Sylvester Stallone come back and do Rambo. I love seeing Schwarzenegger come back and do The Terminator. I mean, I think they probably could have gotten away with getting Peter Weller and digitally recreating the lower half of his face. I think in Hollywood, you can lose sight of the fan base and focus solely on making money, which is important, but you want to appease the fans, and I think if you really make that effort, I think you'll find a better product in the end. So even though I haven't seen it, I'm still going to rate Robocop remake based on what I've heard and my own feelings about Robocop. And I'll give it 4 out of 10 exploding penises. Stitches is the story of a clown who dies while entertaining Tommy and his young friends during his birthday party.
Throw it out! Yeah! Finally, this clown does something good.
Years later, Stitches returns from the dead to wreak havoc on the kids who are now teenagers. I think this movie works in some ways and then doesn't in others. It's worth watching, especially if you like clown horror movies, and there are some fun clown gags. One of the biggest problems with Stitches is I feel like the actor they chose to play Stitches just felt kind of bitter, and he carries that with him throughout the role, and it just feels in conflict with the supernatural elements of the story.
It's cash up front, no door, no show.
Right, here he is. Stitches the clown. Whoa.
Everybody happy? Is everybody happy?
You're an asshole, you big dumb clown.
Especially when they go as far as to establish this mythology of some sort of dark clown cult that lives in the graveyard. I think the clown needs to be committed and fucking love being a clown and aspire to be the greatest clown ever. And then when he comes back from the dead, it has all the more drive and purpose to be creepy and bizarre and fun. But instead, you get this bitter fucking asshole who just seems like he doesn't really want to be doing this right now.
No one would believe me, so I started researching everything I could on clowns. Clowns have been around for centuries. I've got stuff here on medieval jesters, Pueblo Indian delight makers, ancient Egyptian rib tickling ceremonies, Feast of Fools, the Rite of Osius.
One thing you should know about Stitches going into it is it is an Irish-made film, so there's going to be lines and things that you're going to miss because the accent is a bit thick sometimes if you're not from that region of the world. So yeah, I think I'll give Stitches 5 out of 10 clown eggs from the mysterious clown cult in the graveyard. And available on Redbox is Youre Next. Let's bring in our special guest, Aaron Olette, to talk about Youre Next. Go ahead, Aaron.
The sister's boyfriend got shot in the head with a crossbow. And that's how it starts. It's just like immediately someone dies. And they have a girl run out to try and get help at full speed, and they like open the door, and it just cuts her throat instantly, and they drag her back in. And there's a couple creative kills, like she stabs the blender into his head and then plugs it in.
Yeah, because, you know, I saw the trailer for it, and I'm not a huge fan of home invasion horror. I'm more of a supernatural horror fan. Funny Games comes to mind. And is it anything like that? Because that one I had a hard time with.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying. I mean, it's like I mean, pretty much when it came to Funny Games, it's that was actually like a really disturbing horror movie.
I just felt like the filmmaker was like attacking me, and it was, get off me, you fucking asshole. This
is another reason why I think this sets it apart, is that there is hope, because the main character, the heroine, she grew up in a survival camp.
I grew up on a survivalist compound.
The direction was great, the acting was great, the writing was fantastic. So I'm gonna have to give Youre Next 4 out of 5 home invaders. Yeah.
Obscure movies. So this is kind of a franchise, but I recently rediscovered Scanners. There's some brilliant living legend filmmakers, and David Cronenberg is certainly one of those guys.
Did you ever see that scene in Scanners when that dude's head blew up?
Scream Factory released this awesome Blu-ray double feature of Scanners 2 and 3. I remembered that it was a franchise, and Scanners had these sequels. I'd completely forgotten about them. I remember them, on the shelf at the video store. It has these great moments between the scanners fighting.
Not bad, pretty boy.
There's ones that are extremely powerful, and there's some really cool action sequences that are so unique to the Scanners movies. That may have been an inadvertent concept from Cronenberg's original idea that actually lent itself better to the marketing aspect of the franchise.
You have been here a long time. But why do you continue to stay here?
He's in hiding, hanging out with Buddhists, because he knocked his friend out of a window at a party, accidentally when doing kind of like a party trick with his scanner powers.
Not gonna leave me alone, are you, Taylor?
Come on, do it. Okay, you ready? Come on, I'm ready.
Whoa.
This guy's incredible. Come on.
That's what I told you. These guys are fantastic.
One of the reasons why I really like the Scanners films has to do with why I love Fist of the North Star, which was an anime clearly inspired by The Road Warrior. But until I watched the Scanners movies again recently, I realized it's really The Road Warrior plus Scanners equals Fist of the North Star. And then one of the coolest things was to discover that there were actually 2 more Scanners films made called Scanner Cop. This is why this is the obscure category. You have to work your ass off to try and find copies of Scanners 4 and 5 because there's no American DVD release. I have the ability to watch PAL videos because I'm a fucking movie nerd and I've got all my systems rigged, which were these Polish DVDs in really bizarre packaging. But it's Scanners 4 and 5, and I liked the trilogy so much, I really wanted to see the Scanner Cop movies. And I didn't know what to expect, and I was really surprised and happy by the same production value, and there's really cool practical effects happening. And again, it pushes the franchise further into that sellable kind of like Scanners are warriors, you know, of some kind. You know, again, harkening back to the Fist of the North Star connection and applying it to a police officer gives you that sort of warrior quality. And then Scanner Cop 2 with Patrick Kilpatrick.
I'm the Sandman.
It ends with a pretty awesome scanner standoff.
I'm gonna take my time with you, Scanner Cop!
We might call it a scan-off more than a standoff, actually. Yeah, why not? We'll give Scanners 8 out of 10 exploding heads. These things age like fine wine. And lastly, I saw Krumdunkle. You know, Krumdunkle is about a lonely beggar who falls in love with his Billy Baloney doll. I love you! I thought it was kind of stupid. You know, it meanders a lot. There's a lot of it that didn't really come together for me.
I don't need this shit!
Fine. Then I'll do that the other way that I was planning.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a lot of bad writing and dialogue that doesn't work.
I got you a little gift for you.
No, I don't want a Dennis Miller doll! I want Billy Baloney!
I actually thought the best part of the movie was the character Chipper McDunkle, who didn't really have a lot of screen time.
He knew
They're everywhere. They're in my brain.
So if you do get a chance to see Krumdunkle, watch it knowing that it sort of sucks, you know, but it's also magic. So I'll give Krumdunkle 2 out of 10 crumble dunks.